star of the County Down, and how a great melody found its way into an obscure hymn. Troosers versus Trousers, and a double meaning and a great mashup of songs. Welcome to Pub Songs and Stories, show number 231. It's time for the Pub Songs Podcast, Celtic and geek music and news from Mark Gunn, the Celtfather, reimagining pub life at pubsong.net. Grab a pint, slancha! Her eyes are shone like a diamond. You think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. In a neat little town they call Belfast, a prince in trade I was bound, and many's the hour of sweet happiness I spent in that neat little town, till a sad misfortune befell me that caused me to stray from the land, far away from your friends and relations, to follow the black velvet band. Yes, her eyes are shone like the diamond. You think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. As I was strolling down Broadway, not intending to go very far, I met with a frolicsome damsel, applying her trade in a bar. Well, the watch she took from a customer, and she slipped it right into my hand. The watch came and put me in prison. Bad luck to the black velvet band. Yes, her eyes are shone like the diamond. You think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Before judge and jury next morning, for trial I had to appear. And the judge, he said, "My young fellow, the case against you is quite clear. Well, 7 long years your sentence. You're going to Van Diemen's Land, far away from your friends and relations, to follow the black velvet band." Yes, her eyes, they shone like the diamond. You think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. So come all you jolly young fellows, I'll have you take warning by me. If you're ever out on the liquor, me boys, beware the pretty Colleen. For she'll fill you with whiskey and porter until you're not able to stand. And the very next thing that you'll know, me lads, is you landed in Van Diemen's Land. Yes, her eyes are shone like the diamond. You think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Yes, her eyes shone like a diamond. You think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Tied up with a black velvet band. Welcome to Pub Songs and Stories. This is a virtual public house for musicians to share the stories and inspiration behind their music. My name is Mark Gunn, and this show is brought to you by my gun runners on Patreon. These are the folks who make this happen and make my musical career happen. So thank you, first off, for supporting my music. And please subscribe to the podcast if you're not already. You can do that and download some free music when you sign up at pubsong.com, or send an email, sing along at pubsong.com. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe or post a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcatcher. You can subscribe everywhere that podcasts are available. So the song that you heard me start this show off with was Black Velvet Band, of course. I recorded that many times, actually. I have a version from How America Saved Irish Music. I did a version on The Bridge. And I also recorded a version on Irish drinking songs, The Cat Lover's Companion. So there are multiple ways of enjoying that song if you want an official recording. Or you never know, it might end up on the next virtual public house CD if that happens. That is the CD that I released at the beginning of this month. And basically, it's all the songs that were featured in the first 3 months of this year. Something new I'm trying. Let me know what you think. Your purchases help support this podcast in particular. Helps pay for all the production that Mitchell and Miranda put into it. So thank you all so much for everyone who's already bought some CDs or digital downloads. I really appreciate it. Well, what's been going on? Aside from I got Pompey, my cat, rubbing on me, and I don't know what he wants. And it's just loving, which is, odd. Although this is about the time of the morning when he seems to do that. He's like, all of a sudden he comes in here as soon as I sit down at my office, and he's like, "Good morning, hello, I want you to pet me, pet me, pet me. Can you hear me now?" It's one of my favorite lines from the Harry Potter movies. What was it? The second movie. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone see me? Can you see me or hear me now? I just love that line. All right. So in any case, I was at Sherwood Forest Faire this year, and it was really cool because Rie, Sheridan, Rose came out to the fair. And Rie and I, of course, have collaborated on a lot of songs over the years. In fact, check out show number 210 because I did a special where I featured many of the songs that she and I have recorded together. But our collaboration started with the song Soul of a Harper, which she will tell you about in the next episode of Pub Songs and Stories. I did a bunch of little interviews with people or requesting stories from people, and I got a few, I think 3 or 4. I'm looking forward to sharing those in the weeks to come. But in any case, from there, we wrote a Firefly song, which was Brown Coats Keep Flying. Then she wrote over half of my lyrics for Don't Go Drinking with Hobbits. And then she wrote all of the lyrics for Pirates vs. Dragons. I mean, you almost started to wonder if she was going to write all of my songs from there on. But no. It is wonderful actually working with her though. She asked me at Sherwood if I wanted to do any more song collaborations. And I thought about it for a moment. One of Rie's methods of writing songs for a Hobbit album was to take a traditional Irish song and then writing a song in that style, which is something I do pretty often myself. I find a great song and I write something similar. I did it with The Prettiest Hobbit, and that was based on the Irish song I'll Tell My Ma. I think it came off wonderful as well. But one song that is brilliant and timeless, and there are not many songs like it, is Star of the County Down. It's just a delightful song, a beautiful melody, and it's just joyful. So I asked Rie to write such a song, either Hobbit-like or Celtic or whatever. Just hopefully you get something great. I just want those beautiful lyrics because it's such a wonderful song. And I just don't know. I mean, do you know of a song that's like Star of the County Down? I would love to know. Drop me a line. You can send it to mark@markgunn.com. In the meantime, I'm really excited to share with you Rod Nevin's own story about Star of the County Down. He emailed me and I was really excited with it. But first, I'm going to let you know you can travel with Celtic Invasion Vacations. Every year, I take a small group of Celtic music fans on the relaxing adventure of a lifetime. We don't see everything. Instead, we stay in one area. We get to know the region through its culture, history, and legends. You can join us with an auditory and visual adventure through podcasts and videos. We're going to Scotland in 2022. You can join the invasion at CelticInvasion.com. All right, without further ado, Rod Nevin is an avid listener of the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. He performs with the Celtic band Fire in the Glen, which has not been on the podcast yet, but I posted my request for podcast stories, and he sent this surprise with Star and an obscure hymn. Here's Rod's story.
Hi, Mark. This is Rod. I always enjoy listening to your podcasts, and I've been introduced to some of my favorite bands by way of your awesome weekly shows. Recently, you asked for Celtic musicians to share stories related to their musical lives, and I was inspired to share mine with you. I've been a musician all my life, and I spent 22 years teaching music in public schools in New York State and Pennsylvania. 2 years ago, I decided to leave the public education system to focus on teaching private lessons from home, as well as taking on more performance gigs as a piper and singer. I love teaching and making music, so I really have the best of both worlds now. I haven't always been a Celtic musician, but once I got bit by the bug, I couldn't stop listening to and learning new music from that tradition. Recently, I became the newest member of a mug-thumping, pub song-singing band called Fire in the Glen, and it's a blast. So when you asked your listeners about sharing a story, I immediately thought about a tune that has special significance to me. My dad's 87th birthday would have been on February 25th, and he passed 2 years ago. He was a pastor in his professional career, and to me, he was a great mentor and an incredible influence on my life. His way of living caused me to appreciate many things in life. One of those things was the beauty of music. One of my dad's many passions was singing, and he was always singing, especially in church, in the choir, or sometimes singing a solo as a special sermon illustration. On the occasion of my parents' anniversary, their 50th, I asked Dad what his favorite hymn was. He told me he had too many to pick just one, but one of them was an obscure hymn called I Feel the Winds of God Today. I looked it up and discovered it had the same melody, which is called King's Fold in the hymnals, as the Irish folk song known as The Star of the County Down. At the time, I was just getting into Irish music, and I recognized the tune and its very catchy melody. Another light bulb went off as I realized another connection. Our family ancestors came from Donaghadee in County Down in the early 1800s, so this tune immediately became 3 times over important to me. Dad wasn't aware of the musical connection and was delighted to hear about it. I took the melody and the hymn and I incorporated it into a special composition I wrote for my parents, which my wife and I sang as a duet for them in the church where he had been the pastor, and also the same place where my wife and I were married. The melody itself is a gem all on its own, and it's very flexible. It can be calm, serene, and stately, as well as bright, rhythmic, and catchy at a fast tempo. The English composer, Ralph Vaughan Williams, or Rafe Vaughan Williams, used the melody in his orchestral piece called 5 Variants of Dives and Lazarus, which, if you haven't listened to it, you absolutely should. Look it up on YouTube. He spins the tune, Vaughan Williams does, into some wonderful harmonic landscapes. I have also used this melody as a basis for a theme in a piece I wrote for Scottish small pipes, and I called it Upstate Folks in honor of my relatives in upstate New York. And of course, the song Star of the County Down continues to be a favorite song for me, all the more important because of the special connections I have to it. Of course, there are many recordings, but I just happened to listen to a wonderful recording of the song by the group known as Tallymoore, who was featured on your recent Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. So thank you, Mark. Thanks for letting me share my story with you. And I want to thank you too, Mark, for keeping the music alive. Sláinte.
I feel the winds of God today. Today my sail I lift, though heavy oft with drenching spray, and torn with many a rift. If hope but light the water's crest, and Christ my bark will use, I'll seek the seas at his behest, and brave another cruise.
I heard the voice of Jesus say, "Come unto me and rest. Lay down the weary one, lay down
is the wind of God that dries my vain regretful tears, until with braver thoughts shall rise the purer, brighter years. If cast on shores of selfish ease or pleasure I should be, Lord, let me feel thy freshening breeze, and I'll put back to sea.
I heard the voice of Jesus say, behold, I freely give the living water. Thirsty one, stoop down and drink and live. I came to Jesus and I drank of that life-giving stream. My thirst was quenched, my soul revived, and now I live in Him.
If ever I forget thy love and how that love was shown, lift high the blood-red flag above, it bears thy name alone. Great pilot of my onward way, thou wilt not let me drift. I feel the winds of God today, today my soul I lift.
I look to Jesus and I find in Him my star, my sun.
And in that light of life I'll walk till traveling days are done. I feel the winds of God today, today my soul I lift.
Here's Tallymoore singing Star the County Down from their album 1 Foot Across the Ocean.
In Bambridge town in the county down, one morning last July, down a boring green came a sweet Colleen, and she smiled as she passed me by. Oh, she looked so sweet from her two bare feet to the sheen of her nut brown hair. Such a coaxing elf, sure I shook myself, but assured I was really there. Over Bantry Bay, up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the brown Colleen that I met in the county down. As she onward sped, I scratched my head and I shook with the feeling red. And I says I to a passer-by who was a maid with the nut brown hair. Oh, he smiled at me and he says he, that's a gem of Ireland's crown. Young Rosie McCann from the banks of the Bann, she's the star of the county down. Oh, from Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the brown Colleen that I met in the county down. She'll be surely there, and I'll dress in my Sunday clothes, with my shoes shone bright and my hat cocked right, for a smile for my nut brown rose. No pipe I'll smoke, nor horse I'll yoke, till my plough turns a rust-coloured brown, till a smiling bride by my own fireside sits the star of the county down. Oh, from Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the brown Colleen that I met in the county down. Oh, from from Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, up from Galway to Dublin town. Who made our scene like the brown Colleen that I made in the county down.
You can find out more about Fire in the Glen at fireintheglen.com, and of course, Tallymoore is at tallymoore.com. You can also find a link in the show notes at pubsong.com for show number 231. Rod also sent me this performance on the Scottish small pipes. It is a track called Upstate Folks. Troosers versus Trousers. I don't remember where I came across the song Donald, Where's Your Trousers? I recorded it with Andrew McKee of the Rob and I Bards for our CD, A Fair to Remember. We did a mashup of it with, I did notice, I don't know where I found the song, but I remember thinking, oh, this is very similar chordally to Drunken Sailor. I can just mix those two things together. And I was really excited when I did that. But of course, later I found out that it was Andy M. Stewart who popularized the song. It was written by Andy M. Stewart with music by Neil Grant. But it was a hit in the 60s, and his version actually has him singing with in the style of Elvis Presley at one point, which is it's an amusing song. Honestly, no offense to Andy M. Stewart, but I liked our version better. But years ago, I started catching flack early on from anyone who's from Scotland because we would say, or people just who loved Andy M. Stewart's version because he would say, Donald, where's your trousers? Troosers is the Scottish way of saying trousers. But, you know, when we were putting this together, I was like, well, I might be playing I didn't even think about it, I'll be honest, but I might be playing a Scotsman at a Renaissance festival. But to be quite honest, I'm an American. We don't say trousers. we say trousers, but nevertheless, I thought it was a fun little thing to mix up. So I caught a lot of flack from the Scots who would say, "Yeah, that's so cute that you're ruining the song." But you do what you can. But it was the mashup that really solidified the song for me, because the song is fun on its own and it's humorous, but when it's mashed together, it turned into this really rockin' song performance and such, and it became one of our favorites and more popular songs pretty quickly. In fact, we were invited once to KUT Austin Eclecticos with John Ailey. He was a host of a morning radio program that had been going for like 30 or 40 years. And this is in the early 2000s. And we were promoting some event. I don't remember what it was now, but we'd gotten on to the radio show, and Andrea and I were there, and like, okay, we're going to do this song, Donald, Where's Your Trousers / Drunken Sailor. And so we performed the song, and it was just awesome. And I'm, doing great throughout the whole thing. Everything was perfect, just perfect. And then John looks at us and he says, "You know what I really love about that song? I love how you go from the trousers into the kilt flying up. Way ho, up she rises," was the line in Drunken Sailor. And I was like, oh my God. I never thought about that. I might have said that on air or something. I was like, yeah. Or I don't know if I did the try to fake them out and say, oh yeah, I totally intended that. Or but I kind of feel like I just admitted that I was, clueless. It's like, oh yeah, those work really well. There's a double meaning there that I totally intended. Not. Sometimes I do stuff and I don't think of why it really connects with people or why it's really cool. I just thought it was a rockin' song. It was a fun and funny and two funny songs mashed together in this rockin'. It was just great. And then you run into John Ailey, who thinks about such things. I think this has been actually one of my biggest struggles with songwriting over the years, is I haven't put those connections together. Unlike what I've been doing with Celcuth, my upcoming CD, where a lot of the Firefly songs that I wrote, I found a way to put meaning behind songs, which is great if you love stories. I gotta say, it's a lot easier to tell a story about a song that you wrote than it is to tell a song about that you just covered. Like even this story, I was like, well, how do I tell this story? Oh, I don't know. Any case, that said, I'm going to sing for you my song, Donald, Where's Your Trousers / Drunken Sailor. Again, if you want to find this, you can find it on the CD, A Fair to Remember by the Brobdingnagian Bards.
Well, I just down from the Isle of Skye, I'm not a big but I'm awful shy. The lassie shout as I walk by, Donald, where's your trousers? The wind blow high and the wind blow low. Through the streets in my kilt I go, all the lassies cry hello. Donald, where's your trousers? I went to a fancy ball, it was slippery in the hall. I was afeard that I might fuck, cause I may have on trousers. Wind blow high and the wind blow low. Through the streets in my kilt I go, all the lassies cry hello. Donald, where's your trousers? I went down to London town to have a little fun in the underground. The ladies turned their heads around, said, Donald, where's your trousers? The wind blow high and the wind blow low. Through the streets in a kilt I go, all the lassies cry hello. Donald, where's your trousers? Ah, the lassies love me, everyone, but they must catch me if they can. You can't put the brakes in the heel and man say, Donald, where's your trousers? Wind blow high and the wind blow low. Through the streets in the kilt I go, all the lassies cry hello. Donald, where's your trousers? Way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning, what do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning, put 'em in a longboat tail sober, put 'em in a longboat tail sober, put 'em in a longboat tail sober. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning, leave 'em there till they make 'em better, leave 'em there till they make 'em better, leave 'em there till they make 'em better. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning, shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning, put him in the bed of the captain's daughter, put him in the bed of the captain's daughter, put him in the bed of the captain's daughter. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning, you should have seen the captain's daughter, you should have seen the captain's daughter, you should have seen the captain's daughter. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning, she looks like an orangutan, she looks like an orangutan, she looks like an orangutan. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning, swinging from a chandelier, swinging from a chandelier, swinging from a chandelier. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning, well, I just down in the island sky, I'm now gonna make for a muffle shy. The lassie shout as I walk by, down her, where's your trousers? The wind blow high and the wind blow low, through the streets in the kilt I go. All the lassies cry hello, down her, where's your trousers? Way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning, let the wind blow high and the wind blow low, through the streets in the kilt I go. All the lassies cry hello, down her, where's your trousers?
If I didn't say it already, you can also find the song lyrics at irish-song-lyrics.com. Upcoming shows. I am still running Coffee the Celtfather. Initially, my plan was to end it, I think, on the 20th of May. And I've already extended it one more week, and it might keep going. I'm just going to see how things are going once school is officially out. Ooh. Actually, I'm going to have to change that up now that I think about it. I'm going to make some slight adjustments to the coffee schedule because I think we're out of town on the 20th. So, any case, June 4th through 6th, I'm going to be at Con Carolinas online. Details of when that will be are pending. I'll let you know. At least one show. I think it'll only be one show, but it'll be totally online. June 18th through 20th, I will be at Magic City Con in Birmingham, Alabama. And June 27th, I'll be at Tucker Brewing Company in Tucker, Georgia on a Sunday. That should be nice. Support what you love. If you enjoy the music in the show, please show your support. You can learn more about my guests by following the link to them on the website, pubsong.com. Sign up to all of our mailing lists, not just mine, but buy music and merch. And of course, you can follow us on streaming and tell a friend. The Pub Songs podcast is based on the value for value model. That means if you get pleasure from the show, you can buy my virtual public house CD, send me a few bucks to keep it going, or best of all, you can join the Gun Runners Club on Patreon. Seriously, your support pays for the production and promotion of my music and this podcast. So follow the link in the show notes. Special thanks to my newest patrons, Keith Gifford. If you have questions or comments, email me or chat in the Celtic Geeks group on Facebook. I'm working that even more into how I do promote this show. So I thought I'd try something a little bit new this week, which is a broadsheet. You can join the Celtic Geeks group and you can down a free broadsheet that includes song lyrics and chords for the songs and more about the artists in this show. Go check it out. See what you think. I'm going to try this a couple times and see what I think, and then we'll go from there. We're going to finish up with Rattlin' Bog. This is a song that Andrew and I used to sing all the time as the Brobdingnagian Bards, but I eventually learned it myself, and I recorded it actually on St. Patrick's Day Songs for Kids, and now I'm going to sing it for you right now. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back in a couple weeks. Sláinte.
The rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh. In that bog there was a tree, a rare tree, a rattling tree with a tree in the bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh. On that tree there was a limb, a rare limb, a rattling limb with a limb in the tree in the bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh. On that limb there was a branch, a rare branch, a rattling branch with the branch and the limb and the limb and the tree in the bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh. On that branch there was a twig, a rare twig, a rattling twig, twig in the branch, and the limb and the tree in the bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh. On that twig there was a nest, a rare nest, a rattling nest, the nest and the twig and the branch and the limb and the tree in the bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh. In that nest there was an egg, a rare egg, a rattling egg with an egg in the nest and the twig and the branch and the limb and the tree in the bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog down in the valley, oh. On that egg there was a bird, a rare bird, a rattling bird, the bird and the egg and the nest and the twig and the branch and the limb and the tree in the bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog down in the valley, oh. On that bird there was a feather, a rare feather, feather bird, the egg and the nest and the twig and the branch and the limb and the tree in the bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog and a bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog down in the valley, oh. On that feather there was a flea, a rare flea, a rattling flea and the feather bird, the egg and the nest and twig and the branch and the limb and tree in the bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog down in the valley, oh, oh, the rattling bog down in the valley, oh. And that flea there was an eye, a rare eye, a rattling eye, flea, feather bird, the egg and nest and the branch and limb and tree in the bog down in the valley, oh, the rattling bog down in the valley, oh, the rattling bog down in the valley, oh. On that eye there was a gleam, a rare gleam, a rattling gleam, an eye, feather bird, the egg and nest and the branch and limb and tree in the bog down in the valley, oh, the rattling bog in the valley, oh, the rattling bog. And a bog down in the valley, oh. I think I almost got that.
Pub Songs and Stories was produced by Mark Gunn. The show is edited by Mitchell Peterson with graphics by Miranda Nelson Designs. You can subscribe in your favorite podcatcher or listen on my website, where you can also subscribe to my mailing list. I'll email you regular updates of new music and podcasts, special offers, and you'll get 21 songs for free. Welcome to the pub at pubsong.com.